All right, today I'm going to talk about the wide-angle lens that I ended up choosing for my Fuji mirrorless system. Stay tuned and we'll talk about it. All right, hello and welcome back everyone. Eric Marks here again, findingmiddleearth.com. And today I'm going to talk about this wide-angle lens that I ended up choosing for my Fuji kit. I made a video not too long ago just asking for recommendations. And I got a million different people saying different things, and so when that happens, it's hard to choose. But most of them said to go with the 10 to 24 or the 14 2.8. There's a lot of people that said the 16 millimeter 1.4 as well, but I wanted something a little wider. I know the 16 millimeter 1.4 is like cream of the crop. And I'm probably going to get that lens at some point as well, but I just needed something wider because I own the 16 to 55 Fuji lens, which I love. It's better than my Nikon 24 to 70, honestly. It's just beautiful. Super fast focus, amazing micro contrast, amazing sharpness, amazing color rendition. It's really good for a mid-range zoom. But you know, as a landscape photographer, there's a lot of times where I like kind of a forced foreground perspective, and to have that forced foreground perspective to kind of bulge into the foreground, you got to have a wider angle lens than a 16 millimeter on a crop sensor camera. So I ended up choosing the 10 to 24, and so far, been really impressed with this lens. The coolest part about it is that it has OIS, so it has optical image stabilization. And for a wide-angle lens, that can be kind of tough to find. That's why I like my Nikon 16 to 35 because it has VR. But this is so much lighter and feels nicer than my Nikon 16 to 35, so I like this a lot better. The aperture ring feels really nice on this one, super smooth, but I love the very defined clicks in between so I can count third stops without even having to look at the screen. Yeah, I don't know, I like this lens a lot. It's been really good. I've only used it on two shooting, on location jobs so far, and I've been very impressed. I'll have some photos on this coming on the blog on findingmiddleearth.com very soon. I took some photos using this and the XT1 to shoot some of the forest fire aftermath. So you'll get to see a lot of that was shot with this. So, so far, what have I found out about this lens? The corner-to-corner sharpness is not perfect, but it is better than my Nikon 16 to 35. And that's what I'm kind of using as my benchmark because I've always been a Nikon guy. So don't mind me as I'm sitting here comparing it to Nikon because that's just what I have to compare it to because that's my other kit. As far as sharpness at f8, f11, flawless. I mean, it's flawless. There's no light drop off of any kind. Honestly, this thing, even wide open at f4, is pretty darn sharp. I tried it. Typically, like the worst thing you can do to a lens, especially a wide-angle lens, is to crank it all the way to its longest length, so 24 millimeters, and then crank it wide open. That's typically when you're going to get the ugliest results from a lens. So of course, I wanted to try that, so I cranked it up at 24 millimeter, all the way down to f4, and started shooting, and I was very surprised that it was pretty buttery, pretty creamy good. It was some good photos, very smooth, very sharp. Just goodness is coming out of this lens. I'm starting to notice this trend, which I like this trend, by the way. Fuji doesn't have a whole lot of lenses, but because of that, their lenses, I don't think they have a bad lens. Their lenses are like top quality. Every single one of them feels like a work of art. It feels like a Zeiss lens does. It's that metal construction. The focus ring is like super smooth. It's got a very nice tension to it. I mean, you could use this beautifully for video because it's tense enough to where it's just comfortable to slowly turn. So I love that. Yeah, it feels really well. The only downside from the build quality point of view is that the 10 to 24 is not a WR lens, which means it's not weather resistant. So, the rumors are, of course, that very soon Fuji is going to come out with a 8 to 16 millimeter wide angle lens, and the rumor is that it is going to be weather resistant or weather sealed, whatever you want to call it. And I'm sure I'll purchase that when the time comes. But right now, I shoot every single day, so I had to have a wide angle lens, and this seemed like a really good option. And the 14mm 2.8 seems like a really cool option too. I might even get that at some point for some astrophotography. Had a few people tell me that that was really good for astro work, that cranking it at 2.8 gave them a very good sharp result. So yeah, this is what I chose. You guys wanted me to let you know when I chose, so there you go. I chose the 10-24, been very happy with it. And you know, if I find anything wrong with it, or if I don't like it, or anything comes up, of course I'll let you know right here on the YouTube channel. So make sure to subscribe so you can see everything that I experience with this lens in the future, any kind of updates I want to give about it. And of course, if you guys have any questions at all, or need anything, any questions about the Fuji stuff, really anything, just leave them in the comments, and I'll be more than happy to help you out. So thank you guys for watching another video, and I'll see you in the next one. If you would like to stay up to date on all of my latest photography videos and adventures, click the big subscribe button below. And if you would like to find out more about me and how to become a great photographer, visit my website at findingmiddleearth.com.